What's up, y'all? I'm Cedra, the fund manager of Black Girl Freedom Fund and your host for the Let Out for Black Girl Freedom Week 2024. I don't know about you, but my heart and my spirit is full. We have had an incredible week. And if this is your first time tuning in, here's a little bit about the week. Black Girl Freedom Week is hosted by the 1 Billion for Black Girls campaign and the Black Girl Freedom Fund, an initiative of grant makers for girls of color. Throughout the week, we've been showcasing what is possible when we abundantly invest in the dreams, the joy, and the leadership of Black girls and gender expansive youth. Some of my favorite moments of Black Girl Freedom Week 2024 have been the rich conversations, the laughs, the side eyes, you know what I'm saying, that really made the week pop. I'm so grateful for all of the speakers for giving us your time and sharing your expertise, and for all the people who have been tuning in to what we have here. A few housekeeping notes. I want to give a shout out to today's ASL interpreter, Brenda, and want to let you know that this session is being recorded. So if you missed the Let Out Live, you can catch it later. And we'll have our final giveaway of Black Girl Freedom Week today. And so to make sure that you can enter in, follow the instructions that you'll see in the YouTube caption. Also, be sure that we can tell you're not a robot and type in today's word, love. Now for today's lineup. We are going to be having a virtual tour of Along Walks Home latest iteration of Freedom Square, the Black Girlhood Altar. But first, here are the highlights from this week's conversations.
This week is intended to make visible the work that often goes under-recognized, erased, or undervalued. Work led by and for Black girls and gender-expansive youth.
Why? Because every issue is a Black girl issue. Every issue impacts the lives of Black girls and gender-expansive youth, and they have the solutions to move us toward a more just and liberated future.
We deserve to be in these places that we have labored to produce, that there is space for us in these institutions. We bring so much to the table.
Throughout history, really, Black folks have always been there to support and teach and engage Black folks. Elections matter. Who we place in positions of power matter. Your individual vote, it matters.
As a free Black girl, I get to shine my light as brightly as I possibly can and not have to worry about having to dim it because I'm making somebody else feel uncomfortable.
In order to get an economy that loves Black girls, that loves Black women, that loves trans women, that loves all of us, then we have to change the way that we move money into our communities and in our companies.
And as with many things, we find that Southern Black girls are often overlooked and they lack opportunities to kind of find their on-ramps to entrepreneurship.
Most people think that healing is being silent. I think of healing as being something that happens internally, and then it is projected outwardly.
I think the most important thing is to help others. Find two people you can mentor, partner with other entrepreneurs if you can, collaborate, and give back. I guess use that emergent strategies in your company and into building a Black girl economy.
We have the human right to raise our children in safe and healthy environments.
Women should be able to be safe and have a safe space where reproductive justice can be a comfortable topic of discussion and have a full protection over their own rights.
Policy has been weaponized against communities of color, specifically Black community. How can we make sure that Black women, femmes, and girls are at the center of policy and how it's crafted? And that we're not leading with policy, but the solutions were already crafted in community
I think healing justice is the foundation of Black joy and Black liberation. I pray and hope and fight for a future where every Black girl, Black gender nonconforming youth, Black woman has autonomy over their bodies and has choice over their decisions. I think it's so important to know where you've come from and know the work of your ancestors. This work is not instant. This work is intergenerational. This work is forever. And so it's what I can do now that's going to impact someone next. And it's who I can look to for support and guidance and education when I do feel worried.
As the chain of freedom stretches back towards your ancestors and forward towards your descendants. So just make sure the chain doesn't break at your link.
We absolutely have to actively listen to and uplift their perspectives and experiences of Black girls and gender expansive youth in political discussion.
What does safety mean? Like, if you had to imagine what safety could look like for you, what safety would have looked like for you, and what safety maybe should look like, I don't know, maybe we can think about that together.
Rest without anxiety, the freedom to exist as we are, show up as I am.
The response when a young person is going through something is punishment. You're suspended, you have detention, instead of, you said, ask you a question of like, what could we be doing to support? And really making space for people to be nurtured and cared for and have their needs met. Right. And that takes money. But schools don't seem to want to spend the money on the caring stuff, but they're quick to spend the money on the metal detectors, the surveillance technology, the cops. It's so frustrating.
Listening to Black girls and Black gender expansive youth holds solutions for racial justice and bodily autonomy in schools and beyond.
My love letter to Black girls, well, it is a celebration of your smarts and your talents when adults find a way to support rather than squash your dreams.
All of these issues are every day, a priority. It's not just at this one pivotal moment.
When we look back at our ancestors, there are people who were not in the position that we are in today. There was no Zoom, no Google Meets for us to even convene about these conversations. We were out petitioning the community. We were out in the streets, actually doing what we need to do to hold our community accountable.
It's about making sure every voice is heard and every young person feels seen and valued.
We have to make memes. We have to make TikToks. We have to do all of this cultural production to get people engaged.
The richest person in your city, in your state, shouldn't be entitled to be the leader of your community. They're good at making money. Doesn't mean that they're good at leading.
The key is to be fervently consistent. People are being put into appointed positions. People are being put into elected positions, and there's so much political partisan and a lot of trivialized notions and information that's taking place in our society today. Elections don't just impact us on election day. We have to make sure that we're investing dollars into Black women, Black girls, and making sure that they're able to benefit on an equitable playing field. Equality is not enough.
We're asking you to demonstrate your commitment to Black girls and gender expansive youth by making a donation or a commitment to invest in the Black Girl Freedom Fund or one of the amazing organizations working with and serving Black girls in your community.
What does Black Girl Freedom look like for me? And, the ability for us as Black girls, Black women to be authentically ourselves and have opportunities to grow and to thrive is what my dream is.
Black girls and knowing that we are enough just as we come.
I lived out the Black entrepreneurship dream of growing and scaling a national company.
My Black Girl Freedom dream is that Black girls and young femmes across the globe recognize that the limitations placed on them are lies and unjust.
That Black girls are thriving and that Black girls know that they have a whole sea of people who love them and who are willing to uplift them when they feel like they're down.
I believe that every little Black girl and every girl who looks like me, every girl who's even my age now, I just want them to be able to see someone who looks like them and say, I know that I can become that. Even though they may not see it a lot, they see one person and that just inspires them just to do their very best.
Wow, what a week. Our speakers did that. Thank you so much. Now we'll switch gears for a bit to bring you to Chicago for a remarkable exhibit. Freedom Square, the Black Girl Altar, aims to bring awareness to the issue of missing and murdered women of color, to promote community accountability, to end gender-based violence, and to increase visibility. The exhibit creates a space for artists, families, and community activists to engage in public conversation. A long walk home from Chicago brings us Freedom Square, the Black Girlhood Altar.
Hi everyone, happy Black Girl Freedom Week. My name is Danielle. I'm Samaya, and we're part of the Long Walk Home's Girlfriends program. Today we're here at the Chicago Cultural Center in our exhibition space titled Freedom Square, the Black Girlhood Altar. Our exhibition is made up of 3 separate rooms. Right now we're in the first room, which is called Rituals and Prayers. This room holds our Black Girlhood Altar. The altar was made to honor Black girls who were missing and murdered. And though it honors missing and murdered Black girls, we also honor living Black girls in our culture. Here we have Black girl literature, teddy bear, and nail polish that all encapsulate Black girls and what we in our culture.
For the ones I love, for the ones I hold dear, I pray we'll be safe and feel free and have everything that we need and more, that we'll find a way. Our dreams will take flight. Yes, I pray, night after night for the same things, but some things don't seem to change, they move slow. But I keep the faith, gotta keep the faith. But I don't know, I can't tell just how long it's gonna take for all of these big dreams, ambitions, pressures, visions and wishes, 'cause I've grown and I've changed, worked so hard to make the way for these big dreams, ambitions, pressures, visions and wishes.
Now we're in the call and response room. This room is a direct response to the Black Girlhood Altar that we just saw. This room is full of artists ranging from ages 11 to 94 years old. It's 50% adult artists and 50% youth artists. Right now, I'm standing with one of my photos that is in this room titled "I Love You Over and Over." It's a direct response to the Netflix documentary titled "A Love Song for Latasha." That documentary was about the death of 15-year-old Latasha Harlins, whose death sparked the LA riots. The documentary really focused on sisterhood and how important it is to have your girls. And I wanted to encompass the same thing, but I used my actual sisters. They're really important to me, and I wanted to have them embrace each other to show sisterhood and solidarity with one another.
Things don't seem to change, they move slow, but I keep faith.
The call and response room also includes a visual for Ma'Khia Bryant. Ma'Khia Bryant is a 16-year-old girl from Columbus, Ohio, who was shot and killed by the police during an altercation that she was having. We wanted to include this snippet of Ma'Khia's TikTok to show her as a Black girl, to show her as human, because during the time when she was killed, the video of her being killed was circulating around the internet. The video of her fighting was circulating around the internet. So we wanted to show her in a very positive light, because that's not who she was. The TikTok shows her doing her edges, a very normal thing that Black girls do. And this is also a very important factor of the call and response room, because this is the way that Black people and Black women often breathe. They're usually in charge of decorating and coming up with the location, the time, and place of the vigils in our community. Black girls and women are victims of state violence. These two girls are a direct example of that. Black girls and women are often in charge of creating our own freedom spaces when it comes to getting justice for the people that were affected by that violence. Here at Love Walk Home, we use art and healing to end violence against girls and women, to give these girls a voice and to advocate for them. My pieces are called The Beginning and Nostalgia. In my spaces, I shot these pieces while I was in the Forest Preserve, because one thing that is very encapsulating about Black girlhood and freedom is being in nature. A lot of times Black girls are in nature, and nature is where many of us feel the most free. I think of Alice Walker. In her preface, she spoke about while she was in her Sunday sermons, she looked outside and her spirit kind of went outside into the wind, into the trees. And I feel being in freedom spaces, a lot of times what we like to bring in for Along Home, we like to bring in nature and liveliness, and a lot of nature and liveliness encapsulate nature and liveliness encapsulate freedom and Black girlhood. And the altar project in our first room, Rituals and Prayers, in our altar we have white roses and lavender, a life that really encapsulates the life that Black women still have, even though they've been missing and murdered. There's still other Black women or life that continues beyond the ones who have passed away. And this is my pieces.
Gotta keep the faith, so I pray to the stars in the sky, and the light that they shine makes me break down and cry, 'cause they make it so clear that it's here, right here, that we belong, that we belong. So I sing them a song and they call back my name, and it's always the same, and it's always the same. The rainbow light descended from the sky. The rainbow light descended from the sky.
Now we're
in our last and final room, which is called Rest and Recess, the Courtyard. This room is a direct response, and it gives you a chance to relax and rest after coming from the office space, which can be very heavy. Coming into this space, you can hear the sounds of Black joy and Black girlhood, playfulness coming from the speakers. You can hear hand games, the sounds of people playing double dutch, and even just the sounds of kids playing. It's an exact replica of the tree that we go to every year in honor of Rekia Boyd. The tree is located in Douglas Park, which is on the west side of Chicago, where Rekia Boyd was unfortunately murdered. We go to this tree, we hold hands around the tree, give the tree offerings such as lavender, rose petals, and even Florida water. Once we gather around the tree, we all say one wish that we have for Black girls and women.
Above us are the wishes given to us by the community and other girlfriends. These wishes just encapsulate what we want to see out of Black girls and what we wish Black girls have. We also have branches given to us by Martinez, who is Rekia Boyd's brother. These branches were in a way a gift from Rekia Boyd because they fell into his backyard and they're now being used for our art piece.
In 2023, A Long Walk Home was given a grant to create a permanent monument for Rekia Boyd in Douglas Park in her memory. A Long Walk Home has a very strong relationship with Rekia and her family. They went to the first sentencing of the police officer, and that's where they met her brother, Martinez Sutton. And since then, we've been continuously trying to think of a way where we can honor her memory and her legacy in that park. All in all, this space allows us to reimagine what Black girl freedom, justice, and liberation looks like. Join us March 9th and 10th for the closing of our exhibition and for Black Girl Takeover. Happy Black Girl Freedom Week!
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Samaya and Danielle, for giving us this amazing tour. It is such a powerful and moving exhibit. If you live in Chicago or you're near Chicago, we invite you to go before the exhibit closes. It will be running through March 10th. So we hope that you come out, show your support, and enjoy the space. Also want to give a shout out and a big thank you to phenomenal artist, India Sky, for allowing us to use your song, I Pray, to accompany this virtual tour. Thank you. The 1 Billion for Black Girls campaign is a 10-year philanthropic initiative to mobilize $1 billion as an investment in Black girls and gender-expansive youth. The campaign began in 2020, and that 10-year commitment, we want to see that happen before 2030. The campaign was launched on September 15th, 2020, by 8 Black women and femme leaders in activism, academia, the arts, and philanthropy. They include Tarana Burke, Latasha Brown, Monique Koofson, Fatima Gosgraves, Joanne Smith, Salamisha Tillett, Shaharazad Tillett, and Teresa Younger. The campaign calls for a collective public and private investment in organizations, institutions, and initiatives that center and support Black girls and gender-expansive youth. So how does that even connect to the theme of this year's Black Girl Freedom Week? Well, for us, having a conversation about the future of justice and democracy is central to talking about how we invest in, see, support, uplift, amplify Black girls and gender-expansive youth. how we make sure that their childhood is seen as valuable, how we prove to them that we believe in their full humanity, however they express themselves from day to day. So whether you took something away from our conversation about justice in schools or bodily autonomy, economic justice, or civic engagement, every time you think about these issues, we want you to think about how is it that you are centering Black girls and gender expansive youth? Are you listening to what they're asking for? Are you doing what they tell you to do? I invite you to go back through the week and find conversations that challenged you, resonated with you, or inspired you, and to share that with others. Really dig into what young people are telling us they want to see us do for them and their communities. How can we make that happen? So as we close Black Girl Freedom Week on the eve of Toni Morrison and Audre Lorde's birthdays, I want to invite you to do that, to reflect, to share, and to follow through. Reflect on the conversations that made meaning for you, that inspired you, that is really moving you forward, not just throughout the rest of Black History Month, but throughout this year and the years to come, to support and invest in Black girls and gender expansive youth. Share this week with others. Don't rewatch it on your own. Spread the word. Use the hashtags 1 billion for Black girls, Black Girl Freedom Week, Black Girl Freedom Fund, and tag Black Girl Freedom Fund. We want you to share what inspired you. We want you to share your commitments. And that's the third thing that we want you to do. Follow through with your commitments. If you were moved by something that happened during Black Girl Freedom Week, if you were moved as you were learning more about the 1 Billion for Black Girls campaign, we encourage you to follow through with your commitment to invest in the leadership and the brilliance of Black girls and gender expansive youth, starting with your community. If you want some guidance, you can check us out at 1billionforblackgirls.org or 1b4bg.org. And we'll give you some instruction on how you can follow through on your commitment. Again, thank you to all of our speakers and to our guests throughout the week. Thank you to Brenda, who is joining me today, as well as Andrea and Sharon, who joined us throughout the week to provide ASL interpretation. And thank you so much for our closed caption transcriber, Sabrina. And on the closeout of Black Girl Freedom Week 2024, our giveaway winner is Charmaine from Fall River, Massachusetts. All right, Charmaine, you got the last giveaway for the week. We hope that you enjoy it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We've seen people come through from Tennessee, from California, New York, Georgia, New Jersey, Nebraska, and many more places in between. We appreciate you so much. Happy Black Girl Freedom Week 2024, and see you next year.